All right, section 5.4 is solving radical equations and inequalities. We'll spend a couple of days on this. So equations with radicals that have variables in the radicand are called radical equations. To solve a radical equation, follow these steps. Number one, isolate the radical on one side of the equation if necessary. Sometimes you won't have to do that. So, number two, raise each side of the equation to the same exponent to eliminate the radical. Number three, solve the resulting equation and check your solution. All right, so the first one is A, solve 2 times the square root of x plus 2 is equal to 8. So the first thing you're going to do here, the radical isn't by itself, so we're going to divide by 2. So if we divide both sides by 2, we'll get that the square root of x plus 2 is equal to 4. So then we're going to square each side. Because again, to undo a square root, we have to square it. So we're going to square, and we're going to square. So if I do that, then I'll get x plus 2. And what is 4 squared? That's 16. So then we're going to subtract 2 to get x by itself. So we'll get that x is equal to 14. All right. Now, it says to check, ladies and gentlemen. Again, why get a question wrong when you can check it? All right. So we're going to check here real quick. We'll check one of them. So wherever I see x now, I'm going to replace it with 14. And again, our question is, does that equal 8? Well, on this side, we have 14 plus 2 is 16. Again, does that equal 8? Well, square root of 16 is 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. So 8 does equal 8. We checked, and we know we got that one correct. Okay, for the second one, again, check to see if it's by itself. It's not. So we're going to have to add 2 to each side. So if I add 2, I'll have the cubed root of 2x minus 5 is equal to 5. Now again, just like above, we had the square root. This time we have the cubed root. So this time, we're going to have to cube each side. So if I cube this, I have to cube this. So if I do that, I'll get 2x minus 5 is equal to 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. Again, we're going to add 5. So I'll get that 2x is equal to 130. Then I'll divide by 2. And I'll get that x is equal to 65. All right. So raising each side of the equation to the same exponent may introduce solutions that are not solutions of the original equation. It might be a solution to the one that we came up with, but it won't be to the original equation. These are extraneous solutions, so you should always check your solutions in the original equation. All right, so example 3, solve the square root of 2x plus 7 is equal to x plus 4. So on this one here, the radical is by itself. So we'll square each side. All right. So then doing that, The square root goes away. And on the other side, I have x minus 4 quantity squared. All right. So we have to expand the right side. Again, that is using the FOIL method or remembering. But if I FOIL it and work it out, I should get x squared minus 8x plus 16. All right. I know a lot of people are going to give me the answer x squared is equal to, x squared minus 16. That's not the case. FOIL it. Don't forget to FOIL. All right, so now we've got that. We're going to write in standard form. Remember, that means setting it all on one side and setting it equal to 0. So again, I bring this x squared over. Well, actually, I want to bring the 2x over. So think about it this way. I'm going to put the x squared here. I'm going to bring this over here, so it'll be minus 10x. I'm going to take that 7 over to that side, okay? And that will give us 16 minus 7, which is equal to 9. I don't know why it lagged there, people. Hopefully you can still see that. And I accidentally put that equal there because I wanted to kind of looked up, but I do want to set it equal to 0. All right, so we're okay there. All right, so now we're going to factor. And let's see what we remember here. So since we have a coefficient of 1, we know that we can put an x there. We can put an x there. I look at this sign here, it's positive. I look at that sign there, it's negative. So that tells me that both of those are negative. And what are factors of 9? That equal 10. And you would tell me 1 and 9. Again, that equals 0. So now we're going to solve. So by the zero product property, we know that x is equal to 1 or x is equal to 9. Okay, so that's our answer, but we have to check in our original equation. All right, so on here, I'm going to put x is equal to 1. And then again, I'm going to check x is equal to 9. All right, so again, I'm plugging it into our original equation, which was 2x plus 7 under the square root. So 2 times 1 plus 7, does that equal 1 minus 4? Well, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 7 is 9, so the square root of 9, does that equal negative 3? And we would say that 3 does not equal negative 3. So this one here is extraneous. So that would not be one of our solutions. When we do x is equal to 9, 2 times 9 plus 7, does that equal 9 minus 4? Well, 2 times 9 is 18. 18 plus 7 is 25. So we'll have the square root of 25. Does that equal 5? Well, 5 does equal 5. So that one checks. So all you can tell me then is, so the only solution is x is equal to 9. All right. Next one's kind of a little more involved here, but again, you can still do it. So on this one here, we have two square roots. All right. So on this one here, we're gonna have to square both sides. Sometimes we might have to do it more than once. So if I do that, so again, I'll put square each side. All right, so if I do that, okay, on this side here, and again, I'm foiling, ladies and gentlemen. You might try that to see what you get, because on that, I'll get x plus 6 plus 2 times the square root of x plus 6 plus 1 is equal to 7 minus x. All right, so now we're going to simplify. So if I simplify on this side here, I'll get x plus 7 plus 2 times square root of x plus 6 is equal to 7 minus x. So again, like we said before, we're going to isolate the radical. All right, so again, if I do that, I'm going to keep the 2 x plus 6 on this side here. I'm going to take that x over. So if I get that, I'll have 2 negative x's. When I take that 7 over, I'll have 7 minus 7. So that will go away. So on that one there, I'll just have negative 2x. All right, so now divide by 2. Because I do not have the radical by itself. If I divide by 2, I'll get the square root of x plus 6 on this side. On the other side, I'll get negative x. Okay, now we can square both sides. So sometimes you might have to do it more than once. As you can see, we squared it once. This is the second time. So when I do that, again, I'm going to square. I'm going to square. So this side here, I'll get x plus 6. And on the other side, negative times a negative is a positive. And so I'll just get x squared. So again, we're going to write in standard form. All right, so again, I'm going to take the x over and the 6 over and set it equal to 0. So I'll get x squared minus x minus 6 is equal to 0. All right, so now we're going to factor. Again, let's do what I just showed you. So we have an x here, we have an x here. When this one here is negative, it doesn't matter. One is positive, one is negative. And what are factors of 6 that will give me negative 1? Well, you'll tell me it's minus 3 and plus 2 is equal to 0. So we're going to solve that. And we'll get that x is equal to negative 2 or x is equal to 3. Okay. So let's go ahead and do x is equal to negative 2. And if I do that, I'm plugging it into the original equation. I'll get 3 plus 6 plus 1. Does that equal the square root of 7 minus 3? Well, let's see. 3 plus 6 is 9. Square root of 9 is 3. So 3 plus 1 And then on this side, we'll have 7 minus 3 is 4. Square root of 4 is 2. So does 4 equal 2? And you'll say no. So this one doesn't work. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I just did the wrong one there. That is x is equal to 3. Why don't I just go ahead and change it up there? That's what happens when I try to do it right before class. All right, so let's try x is equal to negative 2, and I'll do this one right. So I'll have the square root of negative 2 plus 6 plus 1. Does that equal the square root of 7 minus a negative 2? All right, so let's see, negative 2 plus 6 is 4. The square root of 4 is 2. So does 2 plus 1 equal 7 minus a negative 2 is 7 plus 2, which is 9. The square root of 9 is equal to 3. So does 3 equal 3? And you would say, yes, that one does work. So our only solution, this one is extraneous. So x is equal to negative 2. So remember on the homework, are you kidding me?